Okay, so welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for December 4th, 2019. We're going to follow the agenda, which was posted in issue 785 in the TSC repo. To start with, are there any announcements that people would like to share?
Yes, so we have just one announcement would be the Collaborator Summit that we're doing next week, just as a reminder for folks, as part of an add-on to the Node+JS Interactive event in Montreal. The 2 days following are the Collaborator Summit. It's free to register, but if you don't show up, it's $50. It's dollars. So anybody that's going to the conference, they're welcome to come join us. And any Node contributors that are there should definitely come by.
Okay, any other announcements people would like to share?
Well, I would also, something to discuss for next fall, as part of the NodeConf EU event 2020. We would like to basically set aside a couple of days and in front of the event to do a node specific collaborator summit. Something I definitely want to raise as a possibility to the project. If folks want, we're willing to add a couple of days to the front of that to get some node contributors all together there in Ireland. So something we can talk about, figure out if we want to do. But definitely a possibility. We're looking at lining up the venue now, so we're looking at adding a couple extra days if necessary.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely interesting in that we'll need to figure out when the two collaborator, right? We usually have two collaborator summits when we want those two to be next year.
Yeah, and it's going to be changing with JSConf EU not happening and Interactive potentially being earlier in the year. Right. It's not clear when we'll be able to have those events, and it would be very interesting. It'd be very nice to be able to have a node specific couple of days. That's not all of the projects that, under the foundation. And that's what we'd like to do, is have something specifically set aside for node for a couple of days.
Okay. Any other announcements people have to share? No? Okay, so let's move on to the issues which are tagged. The first one is issue 784, which is meetings over the holiday weeks. It sounds like from the discussion so far there, we're trending towards canceling the two, which are, let me just get the weeks. Basically the weeks of December 18th and 25th. It sounds like we'd be canceling. Sorry, there's 18, 20, sorry, the 25th and January 1st, we would be planning to cancel. And the 18th, I'm on holiday, but I'll either show up or look to find somebody to volunteer. And just wanted to see if there's any concerns or, objections with that.
Nope.
Okay. The other one, which is related but isn't in this, is we were also discussing whether we should have a meeting next week because of Node+JS Interactive. Again, unless somebody objects, the plan was to cancel that for next week. So, let me know if I don't hear back by, say, the end of today. I will go ahead and cancel that one as well.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is tagged as 648, Strategic Initiative to move CMake for building to Node.js. We've had this on the agenda for a couple of times. For awareness, I think we've gone through the cycle of the different time zones, so people should be aware. Ben is starting to work on this, and he's going to create a new issue, which I was going to PR in as a strategic initiative. Just have it in the agenda to make sure people agree that's a good direction. So far, I've mostly heard, either yes, that's a good idea, or sort of no particular opinion. So, let me know or comment in the issue if you think otherwise. Otherwise, it's kind of a heads up that's gonna move forward. And I think I can tag it, take it off the agenda tag for now, if people agree.
Can we ask you to mute real quick? A lot of background noise.
Yep. Okay, the next thing that was tagged in the agenda, which was the Collaborative Summit, Montreal 2019. I think we've already covered that through the announcements, unless there's something specific people want to talk about.
Nope, I think we're good.
No, okay. So the next section is the strategic initiatives. Let me just run over to there. Okay, so I guess we don't have miles, so skip modules. NAPI, again, I think nothing new since last week. We're still, working on a good workshop for the conference, and version 2 went out. We don't have Anna. Matteo, do you have anything you want to say on Core Promise APIs?
Matteo has said he had to step away. If he's not there,
Okay.
No, he did put in the chat here. He landed the event emitter capture rejections PR after 6 months. Yay! So using async functions with the event emitters should be just a little bit safer now.
Okay, that's good. I see, Michael Zasso, you're already updating with the V8 issues. Do you want to?
Yes, so there are currently 9 different issues with V8, mostly compiler issues on many platforms. And so I'm just saying that here, so if anybody has time and knowledge to help, that would be nice, because I cannot fix those.
And when you say compiler issues, they're like issues that require a new compiler, or?
Maybe, I don't know. There are issues that are not obvious to me.
Okay.
Great,
So they're compilation failures.
Michael, I missed that. And what platform is that on?
On FreeBSD, SmartOS, Windows, and an IBM platform.
I might be able to
IBM platform.
I might be able to take a look at the Windows ones if you could just maybe shoot me over the issue or the PR that needs to be looked at.
It's in the minutes.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
S390. Okay, so yeah, I'll have somebody look at the S391 for sure. Okay, good to know. So moving on to looking at who else. So quick HTTP3, James.
Yeah, making fantastic progress on that now. Finally, still maybe about a week away from getting the PR opened in Core. Very early and experimental still, but I have the Quick protocol and HTTP3 traffic over HTTP3 over Quick working. To give you an idea, there's like 7 specs that need to be implemented. And the main Quick spec itself is 156 pages of very non-trivial stuff. So there's a lot here. It's going to be a massive PR. It's a massive chunk of functionality.
Okay. Going down the list, build resources.
It's not small. So.
Okay, sorry, I guess you were cutting out.
Right.
Or I was, one of the two.
I don't know much of that came through. It was my internet. Yeah, we're making progress. It's just, it's not a trivial PR. Right. It's going to be difficult to review, but hopefully in about a week we'll have that open. So.
Okay, build resources. Rich, you have anything you want to add on that one?
The foundation board. Sorry about the noise before.
Like a robot. Rich.
Yeah, we can't understand you. I guess while maybe Rich tries something, I could hear the foundation board. So we have sent the request to help for the foundation board. So far, like in the last meeting, I brought it up again. It doesn't sound like there's any easy answers, but we'll still continue to pursue that with them. But nothing to report at this time. Which does remind me, we skipped a section, but anyway, we're at the end of the strategic initiatives. Before we move on to something else, anybody else have anything they want to add on that front?
I'm just going to add the link to the MyPR on the on event meter in the minutes. So
yep,
that's the only thing.
Sounds good. So back to, I did skip by accident earlier on the CPC and board meeting updates. So I guess, Matteo, since you're back, do you want to talk about the CPC update?
So there's been a lot of activities still on the on onboarding and how onboarding will look like, and so on. So it's that is the key concern of the CPC, is getting all the projects, filling in those checklists and tracking progress on the above. It's a lot of work. There's 30 plus projects, so this is moving swiftly. There is a little bit more work happening on the code of conduct side of things, which is a little bit is a tricky topic overall, because it's essentially defines what is the code of conduct for all the projects. So it will impact us. It will still be the code of the it will still be on the same format that we have right now, but we're just going to nail down a specific version of it. So
yeah, it'll still be the contributor covenant, which we adopted.
It will be still be the contributor covenant. It's just only it will only be more clear which version of it will be, because there are multiple versions of it. So and the updates will be managed centrally to some extent. So that is a little bit hard and a little bit tricky. So there is some work on that front. Couple of notes: we are going to skip the next few meetings on the CPC. So the CPC probably going to slow down in the next few weeks for the Christmas break, between Node Interactive and the Christmas break. So just so that you are aware.
Okay.
The TSC, which is slowing down as well, so it's not coming as a surprise.
Right. In terms of the board side of things, I'm just checking the board to make sure there's not anything that I'm not aware of that was added, but we have two things in terms of the build resources, which we mentioned, and another area that we're asking for help. Those two have been kicked off and were discussed in the last meeting, but nothing concrete to report yet. And there is a meeting at Node+JS Interactive, an in-person meeting, the December meeting. So if there's anything else new that you need to be added, let me know. Okay, so I think that has gotten us to the end of our agenda. Are there any other things that people want to discuss before we move over to the private section?
No.
No, okay, so I'm going to stop the stream.